They'll only ever abuse within their own families.
Do you think offenders and abusers are more likely to be looking for job roles or employment in those spaces where there are more young people available? As you said,
Absolutely.
The last stage of the abuse is to find source in a locations where you can have access to more kids.
Yes, I do. Whilst there's no psychological profile of a child sex offender, one doesn't exist. What we do know is child sex offenders seek opportunity. So seeking opportunity would be seeking a role where they have regular contact with children, where they're in a position of power and control over children, because that's all going to increase their opportunity. So do they seek out places of employment or volunteering? Yes, indeed they do. Not always. You have different, child sex offenders come in all shapes and forms. For example, you'll have some offenders that we call intrafamilial offenders. They'll only ever abuse within their own families. Or they're not going to look for jobs necessarily that brings them in contact with children. But the intrafamilial is those who will only offend within their families, and extrafamilial are those who will offend outside of their families as well. And quite often they will gravitate to roles or seek opportunities that puts them in place with children on a regular basis and gives them a bit of power and control over the child. So a position of power and control, a position of authority.
When you use the word education, and also I think one thing which comes to me as well, the language you use, and then some countries, some jurisdictions are changing the language of, calling people child sex offenders to minor attracted people. So I'm confused from a point of view to understand, how it should be clear on the label what it is, rather than either minimizing or overemphasizing. So what do you think about the language being used to define somebody who's done a heinous crime or want to do a heinous crime of offending a little child?
Well, I think the key word is crime. It is a crime against children. Child sexual abuse is a crime against children. It's not a crime to have a sexual attraction to a child, but it is a crime to act on that sexual attraction. So, for example, there are some individuals, and both men and women, predominantly men, but women are also offenders and can be sexually attracted to children, who have the attraction, and the science is starting to point towards the biological attraction, but they never ever act on it, versus someone who has an attraction and acts on it. That's the difference. If they act on that attraction, they're committing a crime. And as a criminal, they're an offender. And so from my background, I think it's, it would be safe to say that I think child sex offenders is the correct terminology. Not everybody will agree with that. The minor attracted person, they could also be a minor attracted person. But if they act on that attraction, they then become an offender. So I suppose the correct answer is, where are they in that stage? Are they just attracted, or are they acting on the attractions? And that there's a big difference.